Unlock the unknown. So dip inside your soul and dig a little deeper. Unlock the unknown. Discovering the truth will make you feel freer. Like a raging bull gives pain. Mysteries are hurricanes. The truth you seek is unbeknown. Unlock the unknown.
I won't accept it what the skeptics even have to say. They disconnected, redirected, and it's so cliche. So much evidence is building up in our possession. So many elements conclude the answer to this question. From the page of myth to actuality, to unlock a locked door, where's the magic key?
Unlock the unknown. So dip inside your soul and dig a little deeper. Unlock the unknown. Discovering the truth will make you feel freer. Like a raging bull gives pain. These mysteries are hurricanes. The truth you seek is unbeknown. Unlock the unknown.
You have 77 counties in Oklahoma. You put reports in them, 66 counties.
Every tribe has a name for each thing. In Cheyenne, it's massive misstep, which means giant monster.
These are some of the best cast footprints that I've seen in a very, very long time.
North Canadian River Project, we basically focus our investigations on the North Canadian River or central Oklahoma.
Welcome back to Squatch Ranger Files, episode 31. Hey guys, we're just coming off a mini-series of some episodes called Bigfoot Interstates and Sasquatch Rest Stops. I did a part 1 and a part 2. We talked about how the Bigfoot could travel along the river systems in the first episode. And then in the second episode, we talked about how the Bigfoot could possibly follow the railroad systems and then hook up with the river systems. There are so many different combinations of how these Bigfoot could be traveling from the Rocky Mountains through the plain states and into the southern states. So thank you guys for watching those videos. If you haven't watched them yet, you can get on my YouTube channel, Squatch Ranger, and check those out. They're called Bigfoot Interstates and Sasquatch Rest Stops. Alright guys, let's dive right into Squatch Ranger Files, episode 31. Number 1. Seminole Native American spots Bigfoot next to fence line. 1995. Southeast District, Seminole County, Oklahoma. Class A, daytime sighting. It was 1995, Seminole County, Oklahoma. It was mid-February, between 2 to 3:30 p.m. I lived close to the South Canadian River. I had been walking through the woods and was going home. Had my 2 German Shepherds with me. Walking along a gravel road on private property, when off to my right, it came out of the woods, walking along a fence. I came to a stop and watched it walk under a tree limb. Its head was a foot above the limb. It was very thick. The shoulders were broad. It was gray like a coyote. I never believed they existed. That was the last time I hunted. I don't hunt anymore. Went back the next day to measure that tree limb. It was 6'6", so it had to be 7'6" or more. We Seminole Indians call them Stuug Chupko. It means tall man in our language. Follow up, NOBRO, investigators report. The witness in this report went back after his encounter occurred and took the initiative to measure the tree branch the Bigfoot ducked under. By his estimation, the head of the Bigfoot was about a foot taller than the tree branch, which measured at 6'6". The eyewitness stated that this creature had to be 7'6" or taller. The fact that the witness measured the branch for a reference point helps us get a more accurate height measurement. At this height, we can rule out a man in a monkey suit, and we can rule out a misidentified black bear, because black bears are typically around the 6-foot mark. This case is now closed. Number 2. Witness encounters Bigfoot at Christian camp. 1977. Monroe County, Tennessee. Class B, heavy footsteps, and Class A, nighttime sighting. I was a student at Johnson Bible College and spending a week at the Smoky Mountain Christian Camp in the Cherokee National Forest. We had spent many days clearing brush and were burning the pile. We all took turns monitoring the burn. My turn was after dark. I was sitting in the shadows next to the pile of glowing ambers when I heard it running up the hill. The fence twanged as it jumped, landing on 2 feet, and ran off into the woods. Later in the evening, it returned to the lodge. We were all sleeping on the 2nd floor when it started pounding on the front door. Then, a neighbor turned his dogs loose, and the beast ran back into the woods, with the dogs on its heels. The director asked us not to tell anyone, since this had happened before, and he was afraid. You'll never convince me it was a bear. Bears don't run uphill on 2 legs and jump a fence landing on 2 legs and keep moving forward fast without ever slowing down. I'm thinking 1977. It was my freshman year at JBC. I was the only one who saw it outside by the fire, but there were 6 or 7 other students there also for the late night encounter. There were 4 or 5 steps from the ground to the lodge door. This thing was standing on 2 legs next to the stairs and pounding on the upper right-hand corner of the door. It was hitting so hard, we thought the door would come off its hinges. My buddy started yelling at it from the 2nd floor window, and it looked up at us. Right then, the neighbors turned their dogs loose, and it took off into the woods. All night long, we could hear the dogs howling and getting farther and farther away. Follow-up NOBRO investigators report. In this report, the eyewitness got 2 encounters in the same evening. The first encounter, by the burn pile, only the reporting witness saw the creature. The second encounter, multiple eyewitnesses saw and heard the creature up near the cabin area of the camp. The dogs were unleashed, which forced the creature out of the area. The camp director asked that no one say anything about the incident, probably for fear of ridicule and bad promotion for the camp if word got out. It wasn't until years later that the eyewitness finally came forward with the 1977 encounter. This all happened in the Cherokee National Forest in Tennessee. The Cherokee National Forest is a large national forest encompassing some 655,598 acres. The witness stated that the campers had been clearing brush for the burn pile. It's possible the Bigfoot had been in the area in the days leading up to the encounter, hearing all the commotion from the campers clearing the brush. Perhaps the Bigfoot saw an opportunity to further investigate the burn pile out of curiosity. There is plenty of wildlife, water, and cover for a Bigfoot to live in this area. This case is now closed. Number 3. Oil worker is chased by Bigfoot creature. 2020, Southwest District, Caddo County, Oklahoma. Class A, nighttime sighting. Large black Bigfoot aggressively chased an oil field worker at a remote, heavily wooded oil and gas well site. The NOBRO was contacted on January 1st, 2020, by the oil field worker. The event took place during late night hours. The worker was tasked with freeze watch duties. The wells have to be blown down 3 times per night to avoid water separators from freezing and allowing crude oil to go up to the gas plant. The worker was blowing down the water separators when he heard branches and limbs breaking just north of the well site. There is a small, illegal dump spot there, and the noises were coming from the dump area. The worker shined his flashlight over towards the noises and saw what he described as a very big bipedal animal. He said it was solid black with long hair. The Bigfoot was actually coming towards the worker until the flashlight beam hit it, and it stopped. This is what the worker told me. Yes, I was dumping the water off the bottom of the separator, heard branches breaking, shined my light, saw him, and hauled. Yes, man. The thing was every bit of 50 yards away. It was black, not brown, and its eyes were every bit of 8 inches apart. It was big and fast. That lease road is 1 mile long. I drove about 60 miles per hour out of there, and it beat me back to the blacktop. It's big. When I hit it with my lights, its eyes glowed red. It made me forget I was packing. Every bit 7'6" or taller. It was big. If you've seen it, man, I'm telling you, won't stand there and shoot. You gonna be running. It's evil, man. This ain't Harry and the Hendersons. I don't think they are anything but evil. Its aura is awful. He said its face was glaring at him. It was very upset at the worker. I asked the worker to go back out to the site with me, and he totally refused. He is very scared of what he saw, and says he never wants to see it again. He kept saying, they are pure evil. Follow up. NOBRO investigators report. This sighting took place on tribal lands, in between tribal allotments. 3 of the oil field workers have told the NOBRO about seeing Bigfoot on family lands. They say the area is very scary to them, especially at night. This investigator has had many encounters himself while camping and hunting. His family has seen these things since they got to this area before statehood, when it was reservation land. Another pumper told the NOBRO he saw 3 of them by another well site 2 years ago. He said they were at my deer corn feeder, and they were looking at him, with red eyes reflecting his headlights. He said one was 10 feet tall, and he shook his head, and tears were rolling down as he told the NOBRO how scared he felt seeing them. Upon visiting the oil well site, I confirmed many of the oil company workers' statements about the location. I did observe a large barbed wire fence enclosure around the well location. There also was a dump north of the well, approximately 50 yards, and it was on the other side of the fence. There was a deep ravine in a heavily wooded area just north of the dump that a Bigfoot could have used to approach the area. I walked the area out looking for signs, but didn't find anything around the dump. I questioned the witness further about the fence, and he said the Bigfoot never crossed the fence into the oil well site location. I asked the witness also more about where he last saw the Bigfoot at the main county road. He said the Bigfoot actually crossed the blacktop road before the witness even reached the main road. He saw it cross, going south running fast. So after these final pieces of information, I am concluding that this worker did see this Bigfoot at 50 yards. The worker got scared and left the oil well site fast as he could drive his truck down the lease road. I do know if it's possible to drive 60 miles per hour on this oil lease road, because I was barely going 5 to 10 miles per hour. But in a state of sheer terror, I suppose he could have reached that speed. My final thoughts are the worker was very scared, and I think his actions scared the Bigfoot. I believe that the worker spooked the Bigfoot into running the same direction, and the Bigfoot was actually ahead of his truck as it crossed the main road. I do not at this time believe he was attacked or chased by the Bigfoot. I have hunted this area many years, and I know Bigfoot live here, but I have never had an aggressive encounter. Case status closed. Investigation showed no reason to believe a Bigfoot attack is going to happen in this area. The Native Oklahoma Bigfoot Research Organization, or NOBRO, was founded by a group of Native Oklahoma residents that have been involved in Sasquatch research and investigations for the past 15 years. These investigators and researchers come from all walks of life. They represent tribal affiliations from the Choctaw, Creek, and Cherokee nations. The NOBRO receives and responds to reports from all over the state of Oklahoma. They have conducted investigations that involve tribal, public, and private land. They have responded to reports that have occurred within hours of the witness seeing something, to reports that are years old in nature. Please visit our official website. I will provide a link in the description of this video. Also check out the NOBRO Bigfoot Sightings database. I will provide a link to the description of this video. That's the Native Oklahoma Bigfoot Research Organization. Now, let's get back to Squatch Ranger Files.
Unlock the unknown.
I won't accept it what the skeptics even have to say. They just